And I think we're going to get into it, guys. I think we're going to get into it. We are starting with some discussions. I think the first thing we do is I heard about this, and it's been making the rounds on the Twitters. It's been making the rounds on the Twitters, and people are upsetty spaghetti, but they're also, you know, it's kind of like created some good discussions as well. So I wanted to, you know, talk about it with you guys. You know me, I actually do enjoy a spot of Valorant. Not like a whole bunch, but I do enjoy a little bit of Valorant. I think that Valorant has definitely a big toxicity problem. And this was something that was brought up a couple of weeks ago. There was every so often, what is it, like, I would say every 4 to 6 months, a major blow up happens where a content creator, usually a girl or sometimes a minority or sometimes both, gets called, you know, some kind of horrific language, and it's featured, they grab the clip and they feature it on Twitter, and everyone has a giant discussion about it, and talks about toxicity in video games. And I think this is a very healthy thing, not the fact that someone's raged at and said horrible things about, but the discussion that happens afterwards. This most recent one that happened, what is it, I think like 3 weeks ago, was really big. It was really, really big. Now, part of the reason was that some of the people that took over the conversation, they handled it very poorly. So that you know, extended the conversation time a little bit. But the facts remain the same. So someone was, you know, harassed verbally on probably one of the worst games for moderation ever. I think Valorant is way up there. I think like maybe Overwatch 2 is up there as well. Overwatch 2 is a horrendously toxic game, but I would say Valorant is way, way, way up there. And finally, we actually got a discussion from a developer on Valorant talking about the situation. That went up just a few hours ago. So actually just about 12 hours ago. So we're going to listen to it. We're going to discuss. Let's see how it goes. Because you know me, I have some thoughts. I've talked about it. And definitely looking forward to seeing what this lady has to say. Her name is Riot Supercakes, which is a great name. She works on the moderation team, essentially, for Valorant. She's been a part of Riot for quite a long time. She's worked, I think, there since League of Legends days. And then when Valorant was created, she moved on to Valorant. So she is a mainstay. It's not like she's like, you know, a new face or anything like that. She's an OG. So let's see how it goes. She's had some good stuff, so let's see.
And I'm the studio head for Valorant, and I'm here to
talk
a bit about player behavior in the game.
Hold on.
Since launching Val, especially with the addition of voice comms, we've known that fighting in-game harassment was going to be both something we needed to prioritize and also
how's it sound?
Would be one of the most challenging issues that we would face.
I think you need to turn up.
We've been working on systems and technologies, and we actually have been making a lot of progress, but having large global player communities presents unique challenges.
This is true. I think one of the most unique challenges for Valorant is twofold. First of all, one of the big challenges of Valorant is it's a free game. And any game that is a free game, free to download, free to play, things like that, you know, the monetization is via microtransactions, it's via, you know, skins and so on and so forth. Any game like that, for example, I'm a free player of Valorant. I don't pay for anything in Valorant because I don't give a crap about the skins personally. But anyone can download and play Valorant at any real age. You can lie about your age easily to play Valorant and everything. People do often. And any game like that, League is another one of them, is going to be rife with easy entry for trolls, easy entry to repeat offenders, and so like if you get banned, you just create a new account a lot of times. That happens a lot. And the other major issue is that, unlike League, Valorant and Overwatch, which I talked about earlier as well, they're both voice comms. Voice comms are a lot harder to moderate than text-based communication is. And I've been playing League since beta. I can tell you, League of Legends has a horrific moderation problem. Frankly, the moderation for every Riot Games game is just dog water. It's just really, really bad. and it's never been good. So those are the two major issues.
Evolving challenges.
Yes.
So we have to be ready and willing to re-examine things and hold ourselves accountable when things are not meeting our community's expectations.
I think that's saying the least. That's true. I think the other thing is this the first time? Who here has been playing Valorant for a very long time? I only really started playing Valorant last year. So I can tell you on my end, I have not ever seen a Valorant dev talk about this before. Like, so, you know, openly. A dev blog talking about moderation specifically. Does anyone know Valorant? Have you ever seen this? I've never seen this. I've never seen this. You play to start, you don't play hardly at all. Yeah, but you do keep your ear to the grindstone for, like, you know, discussions. Have you heard any dev ever talk about the moderation? I've never heard a dev talk about the moderation. Like, even though I've not played Valorant for a very long time, I played Riot games for a very long time, especially League. And you know, they have dev blogs about League's moderation relatively regularly. But yeah, Valorant, I've not heard anything from before. So if you've heard about Valorant's moderation team talking about, you know, moderating the game, let me know. I've not heard much. So this is nice that we're hearing it now.
And that's exactly what we've been doing. I've spent the last couple of weeks reviewing player logs, looking at penalty escalation paths, discussing player behavior philosophies, seeing where they're working and where we absolutely need to do better. Okay,
one thing that they need to do better, I talked about this every single time they've had issues with this. I've said it very clearly, and this is the same lesson from League of Legends, same lesson from Overwatch. Even though Overwatch is a buy-to-play, or used to be a buy-to-play game for Overwatch 1. You need real penalties. Just doing like a verbal suspension for 2 weeks or whatever, or you know, a week or a few games, 10 games or whatever, that doesn't cut it. That just does not work. When someone says something completely reprehensible, they need a hardware ban, because these are free games. So whenever people get like the 2-week suspension, or if they even get permad, they usually just make a brand new account. They eat the cost of, you know, buying their skins or whatever, and it kind of just recycles itself, to the point that I kind of feel like Riot Games does it on purpose, where they don't actually do real moderation in terms of, you know, IP and hardware bans, because they're getting more money. When someone gets banned and they create a new account and then they rebuy various skins and stuff, guess what? That's only, you know, a positive for Riot Games as a company. They're making more money. So I kind of feel like they didn't really want to do these harder measures because it would hit them in the pocketbooks. That's my tinfoil hat take. But the thing is, this has been an issue for years. Yeah, exactly. Like, dude, Darkshade, look at you know, the game that I play the most in terms of a competitor shooter. Escape from Tarkov. Escape from Tarkov's buy-in at the lowest level is like $40. That's an expensive game. And, you know, almost everyone who bought the game has the EOD version, which is like $120, because everyone likes the extra stash space and this and that. And, you know, it's a pretty hardcore community. And guess what? As soon as you say any slur or anything like that, you know, any like bad gamer language or whatever, any like of the typical, you know, voice chatting toxicity. And I'm not talking about like, you know, shit talking like, you fucking suck, I got you. You can't hit the broadside of the barn. Oh, look at that waste of a headshot, and you just like, you know, destroy the other person. That's fine. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like slurs and like, you know, sexual assault threats and like, I'm gonna do stuff to your mother. Yeah, I'm talking about that shit. As soon as you say any of that shit in Tarkov, like, not only do you get, like, you know, banned, and you lose literally up to $120 worth of money spent, but you also get the entire rest of the lobby just hunting you down and mercilessly killing you. It's a hardcore game where everyone is against everyone. But the few times, and I've been playing Tarkov for like 2.5 years straight, the couple of times I've ever heard, you know, someone say a slur or something, like, all of us like that heard it, we're just like, we have like a verbal like handshake, we're like, hey, let's hunt this guy down, and we just bully the shit out of them, hunt them down, kill them, report them, and then we walk out together knowing that we did something good for the community. And that is what the Tarkov community is like. And I'm just showing how that is different from like Valorant and Overwatch and League and so on. Like, this is how different it is. And guess what? Because of this type of deal, while Valorant has a lot of issues with cheating because, you know, it uses BattleEye, and BattleEye's dog water as a system to, you know, stop cheating, the toxicity levels of Valorant is like of Tarkov is like non-existent. It's almost like real-world consequences actually stops bad behavior. It's shocking that this happens. It's absolutely shocking. Completely shocking. Yeah, exactly, Tactical. Exactly. Yeah, no, I saw the video as well, Tactical. That's what we were talking about. This is basically a dev response to that entire situation. Yeah, exactly.
It's not the first time I've had to do this.
Okay.
It will not be the last. It's important work.
Yes.
But it's not always easy work.
No, it's not. No one thought it was easy work, but the problem is that, hold on. Do you want to know? Okay, let's go on a little bit of a rant, guys. Let's go on a little bit of a rant. If this game, as in Valorant or League or both, and Overwatch as well, if they were making no money, and you know, it was a free game, it's like, you know, the fucking Wild West, they have no resources, and it's kind of just a shit situation, it's a bit of a different story. And I still wouldn't like it, and I would just recommend people don't play the game, but that's not the situation here. How much money has Valorant made? They literally sell bundles that are like $100 fucking dollars. I just want to see the absolute, like, yeah, how much money has Riot made? Well, okay. Riot Games' entire revenue is 1.5 billion. There's no way that's annual. Jesus, that's annual? Holy fuck. There is no conscionable reason at all, in any way, shape, or form, that Riot Games cannot hire more moderators. They should have a team of like an extra 100 moderators every time some dog shit happens with, like, you know, verbal toxicity and things like that. That's what would fix the situation. That and real world consequences. Someone says in, the N-word or a slur, or, you know, talks about, like, you know, sexually assaulting someone or something like that. Permaban. Permaban. That's it. Just permaban them. Have real people look at the situations, hear the voice comms in terms of Valorant, and don't rely on automated systems which doesn't catch or do anything, really, and just permaban them. And, you know, 2,500 employees, hire an extra 250 employees each game, League of Legends and Valorant. And, you know, your revenue per employee will go down slightly, but you're making $1.5 billion per year. You can handle the cost, Riot Games. Watch how fast the game would lose toxicity. Watch how fast. They're pocketing the money? Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, it's... Dude, Tencent owns Riot Games. Okay, let's be real. Tencent owns Riot Games. They're definitely doing this for quarterlies. They're definitely doing this for all these things. That's why we have, like, the more expensive bundles, the $500 Ari skin, which, by the way, Tactical, I did discuss on YouTube, so definitely check that out. It was a great video. And so on. They're definitely pocketing the money. I'm just saying that they have no excuse to not deal with this toxicity problem. The steps are very easy. They're very clear. All Riot Games needs is the fucking willpower and balls to do it. And to spend some, you know, actual money to do so. Do I think they will? No, I don't. I don't. They haven't for 15 years. Why the fuck would they do it now? They're not going to do it. But this is how you would fix the issue. Yeah, they have an excuse, it's money. I mean, yeah, it's not a good excuse is what I mean. Yeah, you're absolutely right. That is the reason, but it's not a good reason. But yeah, the way forward is very clear. But however, going off on a tangent, you know, let's let this lady speak. Let's see what she says. Maybe there's some action items here. What I want to get out of this video, by the way, we're a minute in. Obviously, none of this has happened yet. But what I want to see and hear from this lady are action items. What will they be doing that is different than before in order to take on toxicity in a better way? What real action items? Are they hiring more team members? Are they going to be, you know, starting hardware bans, IP bans? Like, these are the action items I'm looking for. So let's see if that happens. So far, none of the sort.
A parent and a caregiver and a team lead, and in almost every aspect of my life, I feel this deep responsibility to protect people.
Okay.
And this is no different.
Sure.
The responsibility of protecting our community of Valorant players is one I take very personally, and
I've heard this type of spiel like 15,000 times. Every single time a game company does something dumb, they always have like an apology tour with this type of deal. And it is always platitudes. This is nice, lady. I don't know you. You know, I know you've been a part of Riot for a very long time. Maybe your heart is indeed in the right place and you're doing your best here. But, lady, that doesn't help us. We need action items. Give us some goddamned action items, please.
I can tell you that very often it can feel like I've failed in that responsibility.
You have. It doesn't feel like it, lady. You have. The Valorant moderation team has failed. The League of Legends moderation team has failed. I played League this morning before work, a game. I got called a slur in the game. Now, what did I do? I reported him. I didn't care too much because, you know, I've dealt with it for 15 years. But, dude, this literally happened today. It happened this morning. I mean, I know the guy got some kind of suspension. I got the little automated, like, yeah, this guy got, you know, some kind of punishment. But is he IP or hardware banned? No, I doubt it. But, you know, straight up, like, dude, this shit happens every single day. Your moderation teams for Riot Games has completely, utterly, completely, horrifically failed. Absolutely. Didn't I just tell you the other day, Darkshade says, about a mid and jungle on my team spamming the N-word? No, well, you might have told me that, but I missed it, maybe. But yeah, I mean, that happens. That definitely happens. And League is a text-based game. Imagine if League had, like, proximity voice chat. Because, dude, you know what I always, you know what always grinds my gears? Big members of the League community, you know, like big content creators and so on and so forth, the Tyler Ones of the world and everyone, they always talk about how they want League to have voice chat. And I'm like, no. I don't need a Yasuo main to tell me 10 different ways to kill myself because I haven't ganked them 15,000 times. Or because, you know, I was holding the lane and I took a creep. And they just decided to, you know, mentally melt down and wish death upon my family in 14 different ways. I don't need that. We don't need voice chat in League of Legends.
Player behavior is a complex problem space. Our systems cannot catch everything.
That's not true. That's literally not true. The system's not catching everything. That's true. And the reason is because they don't have enough real people. You need real people to catch this shit in a verbal situation. That's straight up. You need it. You definitely need it in League of Legends as well, and that's only a text-based situation. But you know, I remember when they stopped having like as large moderation teams on League, and they moved to automated voice systems. Sorry, automated AI systems to try to like catch you know toxic words and things like that. And the day that happened, it was, what is it, like? I think it was like year 6 or 7 of League. They got rid of Tribunal, which was a way for us players to help moderate the game. And instead of having the Tribunal, it was an asshole who worked at League, Riot Light. And everyone who's played League for a very long time remembers Riot Light. It called himself Dr. Light. He was a fucking piece of shit. And the reason is because he decided in his infinite wisdom to move away from having like actual real people deal with the moderation. And he moved forward with like, you know, more text-based AI programs and so on and so forth. And guess what? Toxicity skyrocketed. It skyrocketed and it has never, ever gotten better. It's never, ever gotten better since then. That's who I blame for this, you know, negative turn of events. That was like, what is it? I think he was still at the company like maybe 8 years ago. From like, yeah, I think it was from like probably like right year 5 to like right year like 7, 8 or something like that. And yeah, that's why we have such problems. They rely on too much automated systems.
They require constant attention
they do.
And tweaking and improvement.
Yes.
Sometimes it has to be painfully manual.
Mm-hmm.
or dependent
It needs to be manual.
On our players reporting things and our processes staying well tuned, and sometimes tech that has the potential to be a game changer.
I think it also, like, this is a problem with Valorant's community. Valorant's community would rather, like, you know, call each other e-kittens and stupid shit like that, as opposed to, you know, dealing with toxicity themselves as well. Like I said, why is Escape from Tarkov so much less toxic? It's because, like I said, and I gave you that story, anytime someone is verbally toxic like that, we, as an entire lobby, hunt that motherfucker down, and we bully the shit out of him. Basically throw him inside of a locker, kill his character, steal all his junk, and then report him. The community also helps clean up the mess. Valorant's community does the opposite. Valorant's community is literally dog shit. And I think it's time we realize that. I call out any toxicity I hear in Valorant, the very few times I play Valorant. But very few people who play Valorant do this. Very few people, when, you know, someone makes like a sexual assault threat or something like that, calls out the guy for being a piece of shit, tells him that he has never had love in his life and deserves to be put into a locker. You know, things like that. Like, you need to bully the bulliers. Really. Like, I think the Valorant community needs to realize that they need to take some responsibility here. And this is guys and girls. This is everyone. Everyone who hears any toxicity like this needs to take ownership of the situation and help fix it themselves. Call out more toxic people. Anytime you hear verbal toxicity, make a clip of it. Put it all over the internet. Shame them. Make these stupid little dick motherfuckers feel shame. Every time. If you do it every time, you give them real world consequences, you make people hate them and everything like that, guess what? They'll do it less. It's that simple. It's really that simple.
Takes longer than you want to work. All the things we say at Riot on the topic of
exactly dark shit
are true. I want to assure you that Riot has always taken this seriously. That's been true ever since we launched League.
Random people in Riot Games, like this lady, is taking it seriously. Riot Games has never taken it seriously. And the reason is because the QA team, the moderation team, always keeps shrinking. And they keep relying more and more on AI. How the fuck does that mean they're taking it seriously? It does not at all mean they're taking it seriously.
League of Legends. But at the end of the day, there are still some people in this world who want to take out their insecurity or their bad day or their hate or their whatever on some stranger through their computer screen.
Yeah, they have little dicks.
We take steps forward. But
literally micro penises.
Here's the part I can't shake. In almost all cases, someone gets hurt in the process of making these systems better.
That's true.
Too often it takes someone experiencing the worst behaviors, something egregious, something painful, something threatening for us.
So then why do you let people be repeat offenders? That's my issue. They're allowed to be repeat offenders. Why? Why are they allowed to do this over and over again? If someone does something bad once, like straight up like reprehensible, you know, N-word level slur and thing like that, they should not be allowed to play your game. At all, ever. That would take some balls from Riot Games.
Us to better
as soon as the word gets around, like, you know, the L9 community and stuff, that they're getting permabans, guess what? Their behavior would change.
The gaps in our systems and processes are. And that's exactly what we're experiencing and addressing right now. But I also want to make sure that I say this out loud.
Okay.
We have no room for these types of behavior in our game or in our community. Valorant is a team game. It's better played as a team. The strats
it's not better played. It's literally necessary. Both Valorant and League of Legends is necessary to play as a team. This is a platitude.
When you tell someone to just mute comms to avoid harassment.
Oh, okay, this is our point.
You are essentially putting the harassed person in a position to not communicate.
Yes.
To compromise how they want to play the game.
Not only that, I mean, she's right on here. And this is the first thing I'm glad she's actually saying. This is something that is important because the Valorant community is so dog shit and the League community is so dog shit This is what they say. They say, oh, you don't like hearing the N-word? Just mute them. Oh, you don't like getting rape threats? Just mute them. Bitch, shut the fuck up. It's a game based around communication. If you go into every single game and you auto-mute, there's no way you can even, like, remotely climb. Like, this is absolute dog water. It's a social game. You're supposed to make friends. You're supposed to, like, you know, communicate with the other person. You're supposed to create strategies. There is no just mute the other person. Yes, technically that would work. And you would never, you know, feel you know, the toxicity of another person, but you will never feel the positive side of the other person. And you're basically telling people to just mute the toxics means that you are giving power to the toxics. The power is in the toxics to affect everyone's game. That is what happens in high elo in League of Legends. Everyone goes into League of Legends ranked a lot of times and just auto-mutes their entire team. Guess what? Those people that do that, and I understand why they do that, they're basically making it so they never communicate with their entire team. They never make new friends. They never create a good part of the community either. Why give toxic people that extra level of power? It's dog shit. It's absolutely dog shit.
To accommodate you.
Yeah.
Muting is
a
tool.
I agree with her.
Who choose to use it, not something that is there to justify bad behaviors.
Correct.
Competitive games need to have room for banter. We believe this, and I do understand the fear.
I think the definition of banter should be very, very clear as well. Like, shit talking and everything is fine, but as soon as you're talking about someone's, like, you know, appearance, as soon as you're talking about, like, you know, a threat, as soon as you're using, like, slurs, that's not banter. Like, anyone who calls that banter needs to be stuffed in a locker. I'm sorry. Like, that's just what it is. They didn't get bullied enough as a child, and they need to be, like, literally thrown into a locker and bullied again, because they didn't grow out of it when they were 14 years old. If it's 14-year-olds doing it, I mean, it still sucks and they need to be taught a lesson, but that's a different story. The people saying this in League and Valorant, they're not 14 years old, man. They're like 25. They're like 30 sometimes. It's just so dumb. It's absolutely so dumb. Banter should be stuff contained to the Rift. Oh yeah, like your Ezreal's dog shit. Yeah, exactly. If you're saying like that, yeah. I don't even like that particularly, but like I don't think that's constructive. But at least it's not like, you know, a death threat or anything like that. I think like straight up anything that's like a death threat or anything like that, gone. Just automatic gone. At least we could agree on how to deal with the most toxic pieces of shit, the literal bottom-feeding scum of these game communities. It's very easy.
The fear that we will sanitize gaming by over-addressing these issues. We have no interest in doing that.
It would be impossible to do. Like, there's no real way to over-sanitize this. Like, I think anyone who's afraid of that has not been on the receiving end of such behavior. And they don't know how to communicate with people anyways. So it's no real loss, frankly.
That's not what we're talking about here.
Yeah, may you forever burn your bacon.
We do believe that a person should not be in a position to have to grow a thicker skin or whatever other unhelpful suggestions.
Oh no, I mean, like, dude, like I said, dude, I think Tarkov's shit talk is a great is a great level of shit talk. People shit talk all the time. You know, they meme each other. They say that your shots are dog shit. You're gonna die. I'm gonna steal your stuff. I'm gonna like not even sell it. Your shit is so bad it's not worth selling. I'm just gonna drop it on the ground because you're that bad of a player. Yeah, that's fine. That's totally fine. But there's like literally almost no slurs. I've never ever heard someone, you know, threatening to sexually assault someone or anything like that. None of them. None of these actual, like, super egregious things I've never heard in Tarkov. I've only heard, like, you know, maybe 3 slurs ever. And we've dealt with that situation. But, like, that's it. That's fine. That's a great level of banter, I think. And, I mean, honestly, like, it's far less shit talk than most other games. But there is still some of that. But that's it.
Have been thrown out there just to avoid threats of violence or literal
hate
speech.
There you go.
There's no room in our community for the most egregious behaviors, and we're not going to compromise.
We are halfway through the video and not a single action item, by the way, guys. I just wanted you to mark that out. We're halfway through this video, not a single action item.
On that point, if you need to make truly evil statements under the guise of regular shit talk to enjoy gaming, then
like that she called it shit talk.
Something else. We won't miss you.
Yep, there's the door.
Community, we can't stop them from opening their mouths and saying something awful. I wish we could, but we can't stop that part.
Yeah.
What we can do
she did say
is help escort them out of our game spaces. We do.
How? Can you please tell me how, lady?
Do some of this already. The vast majority of the time when someone says something out of line and gets reprimanded, they learn as a result of our feedback systems.
No, they don't. That's not true. That is literally not true in any way, shape, or form. Show me the numbers. Show me the goddamn proof. I don't like to be lied to. I don't like to be fucking gaslit. Do you know how I know this? Because I run into a lot of times. Dude, I play the same ELO in League of Legends because I play dog water champions with dog water builds. I don't really climb. I don't really care to. But as a result of that, I run into the same people doing the same toxic shit and getting reports that do have actions on them over and over and over again. I have a mental list of several names that I've run into so much, I just remember who they are. And as soon as I see that they're in my game, you know, you don't see them in Champ Select, you have to actually see them in the game in Ranked. I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm gonna lose this game, aren't I? But, like, I know who they are. Like, it's repeat offenders. How the fuck does that person still have an account? You don't get rid of these people. You don't escort them out of your game. I goddamn wish you did, but you don't. Don't lie to me and say you do this. Shit, man. I don't even play League that much anymore. I used to play League all the time. I used to play nothing but League. You know, various members of this community remembers those dark days of the very first year of my streaming. But, yeah, I don't even play nothing but League anymore. Nowadays, I play a full variety. But back when I used to play full League, I used to play probably enough to compare with, you know, people who play nothing but Valorant now, or people who play nothing but League now. And those people run into the same people that are toxic and repeat offenders far more than I see. So what I'm saying is I play comparatively little to them, and I still see repeat offenders. So I can't even imagine what the typical, you know, 5-game-a-day Valorant player, 5-game-a-day League player sees. Like, holy Christ, this is an absolute lie.
They keep playing, they rarely repeat offend. The number of players who exhibit these behaviors are not the majority, I assure you. In fact, they are a very small fraction of our player base.
I would say that we need numbers. Anytime she's saying bullshit like this, I want the numbers. Give me the numbers, lady. Because I would estimate that the League community is probably 20% toxic. That is a horrifically high number. Now, maybe Valorant is lower. I don't really know. I haven't played Ranked in Valorant, for one thing. I've only played Swift Plays pretty much, almost exclusively, so people are generally nicer in Swift Plays. And even I've run into a lot of toxicity in those. But, if you're going to say this bold-faced lie, I want the numbers.
However, it has definitely become clear to us that our existing penalties are not doing enough right now to...
Do you know why this is, guys? This is corporate speak for they have the internal numbers and they know it's gotten worse. They know the past year of League of Legends, and maybe Valorant as well, has been the worst year ever in terms of toxicity for the game. I can tell you this. I've been playing the League for 15 years. I have a very thick skin for the entirety of the time I played it. And this year, this past 12 months, it has been the worst toxicity I've ever seen in this dog shit game. Ever. The numbers are higher. The numbers of inters, the numbers of ragers, the number of repeat offenders, the numbers of slurs are higher than they've ever been.
Remove the most disruptive players from Valorant.
Last year felt worse? Nah, I think it's this year.
Manner. So here's what we're going to do. First, over the next...
Oh, finally, action items. Okay, action items. Finally. Guys, we're at the very last 2 minutes of the video, and now they're starting action items. This is a bad video, like right now. Holy smokes, man. In the next 30 days, finalize updates to existing policies to focus on stronger, faster penalties for severe behavior. What exactly does this mean? I need proof.
We'll be finalizing updates to our existing policies. This will allow us to issue more severe penalties and faster, with a focus on the most severe behaviors, things like hate speech, severe sexual content, and threats of violence, which have no room.
Well, they're focusing on the right thing here. Like I said, you got to focus on the easiest bottom feeders to get rid of. I completely agree with that. This so far is a fine action item
in our game, and we will continue.
Yeah, you're right, Darkshade. Basically, that first action item is we're actually going to do what we said. It amounts to we will actually do what we're saying. That's literally it.
Continue to adjust those categories when and where it's needed. Second, we need stronger tools to deal with a broader spectrum of harmful player behavior, and so we're introducing new actions. This will include penalties ranging from temporary bans to permanent bans, all the way up to and including hardware bans.
Fucking finally. Here we go. This is real shit. Permabans, hardware bans. Yeah, exactly. It took us 5 minutes and 30 seconds, but we finally got to something good. There we go. There we go. Finally. Fucking finally. Some good fucking food. There we go. There we go. Holy shit, man. Holy shit.
For our worst offenders. Hardware bans are an extreme form of punishment, so we...
Is it extreme? I think it's... I call it justified. To be fair, I call it justified. I don't think it's extreme. I think extreme is, you know, reporting someone to the police. I think that would be extreme. But hardware bans? That's not extreme. That just means this person is so dog shit and so toxic, they don't deserve to ever play our game fucking ever again. That's not extreme. That's a normal punishment. That's a good get them the fuck out of here.
We'll apply them only in the most extreme cases with clear evidence and manual review, similar to how it works with anti-cheat right now. Third, because we're making these changes...
Rafiki asks, wait, is so the kernel level anti-cheat the thing that enables hardware bans? I actually have no idea. I do apologize. I don't really understand computers too much. All I know is kernel level anti-cheat is pretty common nowadays. Most real anti-cheats, whether even if it's BattleEye, which is dog shit level bad, but it is kernel level. It's just not very effective still. That's kernel level. Riots is kernel level. There's a lot of kernel level anti-cheats now. Hardware ban first offenders. Do you mean of cheating? Yeah. I mean, I think that's already happening at some point. Basically, if you get caught for cheating, you are banned. Like, that is a thing that happens. Like, that's one thing they do take seriously. You do get, like, actually banned. Now, finding people who cheat and stuff, that's a little bit of a harder take for certain people and for certain games and such. But the permaban does happen. The permaban does happen for that. Yeah.
We anticipate there's going to be more reports that will require manual review. So we'll be beefing up the teams that are needed to support that.
How many people are you hiring? Beefing up the teams means what? We just had numbers of people being fired from, or not fired, laid off from Riot Games. Now, Riot Games was very transparent about those numbers. I want them to be transparent about exactly how many people they're hiring for each game. That's what I want. That's what I want.
Fourth, we've been testing Riot voice evaluation systems in North America in English only for a while now. It's still in beta, but it's been working really well so far.
Voice evaluation? What does that mean? Is that like, that might be like an AI version of like League's program for like voice instead of text. And let me tell you, in League, it's not very effective. People literally take the N-word, change the I to a 1, and, you know, the E to a 3, and they get around that pretty darn easily until they get banned and like reported by like a mass report and everything. But it takes that. That's the thing. This, I don't know how effective this will be. They need to hire, like I said, 250 real people for each team for League and Valorant. That's what they need. And watch how much that would affect the issue. They can afford it. Riot Games can afford this.
Players who have been actioned upon by RVE have not reoffended at a 75% rate. This reduces the overall number.
Apparently it's not very good, which is why they're beefing it up.
Of repeat offenders by a great deal. We're looking to roll this out to more regions later this year, adding support for additional languages, while also taking into account...
Now, the problem is, going back to it, she's saying that they're expanding it to more regions. This is already in existence today in America. And we all, not we all, but like the majority of this community is from America. I've heard slurs in Valorant. AI didn't catch that shit. Are you kidding me? No. This is obviously not working yet. That's the thing. It's just not very effective, I think.
By a great deal.
They got to get mass support. No, I know.
We're looking to roll this out to more regions later this year, adding support for additional languages, while also taking into account local regulations on player safety and privacy. And lastly, we're going to go back and perform a one-time review of the top suspected offenders from the previous act and issue penalties accordingly.
What they're saying is they're going to do a ban wave of toxics. Like an absolute ban wave of toxics. Good.
It's important to us that you can trust us with this. That when you get feedback from a report that you can trust.
I want to see the numbers. Now one thing that what's it called Tarkov does is they regularly release a literal list of people getting banned for cheating. They don't do this for anything else, but they do it for at least the cheating. And so you will regularly see like you can actually see their names. They don't like blur out the names or anything. They don't just show a number. They literally show the username of every single cheater getting permabanned. And so if you see a friend's name on the list, you can shit talk them for doing it and stuff, which is great. It's never happened to me that a friend has gotten permabanned for that. But you know, they should do that for this game Valorant. They should really do that for this. They should do that for League of Legends. And they should release a weekly list of people getting permad, because I think that would be a way to shame those people, and anyone who knows them can shit talk them for being a toxic piece of shit, and the community can help clean up the mess a little bit as well. These kids, when they get permad, and by kids I mean, you know, 20 years old, 24 years old and stuff as well, I consider them fucking dog shit human beings. But when they get permad, I see so often people on Twitter being like, I don't even know why I got banned. I didn't even say anything bad. This is what they say right now. Now, if you have that list that is like, we're literally banning these 300 people for spamming the N-word. Release that list. Let us shame them. There's no way that these people can lie about it at this point. I think that would help. I honestly think that would help. Publicly shaming works. I can tell you this. I've been playing games for my entire life. Publicly shaming always works. I remember when I played Halo 2, and Halo 2 is a really toxic game, guys. Like, holy crap, man. There was some real toxicity in that game. There was a really, really popular and really, really good. Like, they were like one of the top teams in the entire world. It was an all-girls team. And they were badass. I knew some of them. And they would get verbally harassed all the fucking time. But what they did was they would regularly release lists of people that would, you know, talk about, you know, sexually assaulting them and stuff like that. And the entire Halo 2 community would just fucking make fun of them all the time. Talk about how small their dicks are and everything. Guess what? Those people didn't repeat offend. I can tell you that much. Naming and shaming worked back then. Naming and shaming always works. It really does. And, you know, we still had massive, you know, toxicity issues in Halo 2 and everything. But, you know, it's definitely one of the better aspects of dealing with this situation. It certainly doesn't hurt, guys. It certainly doesn't hurt.
That something happened in a timely manner and with the right severity. I'm hopeful that these updates should be a positive step in earning that trust, and I don't think we should stop.
The trust is broken. We need action items. These action items that she said, these 5 action items are pretty good. I'm kind of pissed that it took literally almost 80% of the video to get to those action items. But the action items themselves are so far pretty decent action items. But we need proof. We need numbers. We need name and shame. We need to know exactly how many people you're hiring for those moderation teams. We need to know the actual details. If you give us the details, that would go a long way to actually building up the trust again.
Up there. Penalties and punishments, they do work after the fact, but we do think there are ways that we can be more proactive, investing in systems and designs that create an environment where things like comms harassment are less likely to happen in the first place. So more on that to come. Look, I know this message is intense, so let me say this. This is not just about preventing the worst. The goal is to make it so that the people who want to play Val are able to love playing Val. It's about promoting the best in each of us. It's about ensuring that people can share in the joy of the matches won and
this is all platitudes, but they're nice platitudes. This is all true. This is all true.
Feeling of community that gaming can create.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for the time. We're on this journey together, and despite the challenges, I know that the future we're building is bright and worth every effort. Thank you, everyone.
All right, let's see what people think about this. You know, you guys heard my feelings on the subject extremely clearly. Let's see what everyone else feels. Yeah, so here's a little nice picture here of the 5 action items. That's good. That's good. Oh, here we go. There's more detail here. We also rolled out a few improvements to our player behavior systems in patch 8.1. I'm assuming that's the most recent patch. Bystander feedback. If anyone in your match is actioned on, you'll receive a notice when they're penalized, even if you didn't report them. This is good. They should have had this from the very beginning. I think League having this was such a good thing. But I think what they also should do is announce the name of who got actioned upon. Shame them. Name them. Show everyone who the fuck the little dick piece of shit was. Please. Text filtering. When zero tolerance text is detected, we'll stop that message from being posted and mute the player for the rest of the match. Yeah, this is one of the better things from League of Legends. Yeah, this is actually one of the better changes that League had. One of the very few better changes that League had over the past year. Where if someone says, like, you know, some gamer word or some, you know, bad juju or whatever, you'll get a message saying such and such said something bad and they can't talk for the rest of the match, and has been, like, essentially perma-muted for the rest of the game. And that is always funny to see. Like, it's always good to see that, because I always shame them verbally to my chat whenever that happens. And everyone in the game is like, oh boy, I wonder what Yasuo said. Oh boy, Yasuo, what's going on, buddy? And so on. And we kind of meme them and kind of shame them. So I think that's always a positive change. That is a good thing. We need more of that. And guess what? That's a form of shaming. Guess what? That is a form of shaming. I got banned for standing up for myself. How are you going to manage those situations? I'm curious if there's an answer here. Yeah, manual review would be the way to fix that. I don't know if that'll happen, but manual review would absolutely be the way to fix that. This is why you can't rely on automated systems. If someone calls me the N-word and I call them a piece of shit that needs to be stuffed in the locker and I get reported for that part, technically I do deserve the report, but, you know, it's a situation that a human can handle and not an AI. That's the problem. That is why I am much more comfortable and much more prefer humans dealing with the situation than automated systems. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, oh yeah, dude, absolutely. Bad actors constantly say, oh, just mute them. I hate it when that happens. I hate it when that happens. Phenomenal update. Thanks for the update. Okay, people seem to really like this update so far. I think it was just, like, really, like, a little too long. And they should have had the action items at the beginning. But I do like the meat and potatoes of this discussion so far. Although I'm skeptical, don't agree. I'm actually curious. What do you not agree with? Genuinely curious. Yeah, I'd like to see what this guy's not in agreement with. Player commending system. Yeah, I do agree with this point. the player commending, like, you know, pushing up good behavior is a very effective way, excuse me, at tamping down negative behavior. It does go hand in hand. I do agree with that, the second point that he made. And welcome, Dat Dog, buddy. We're having good conversations. Good to see you, my friend. Been a while. Great to have you back. Best update since June 2nd. I don't know what that is. Hardware bans. Yep, we need the hardware bans. I completely agree with that. I completely agree with that. Yeah, have actual people look at it. Yes. Completely agree. Why do you enable group voice chat? I think this game needs group voice chat. That's the problem. Like, I hate that this game needs it because the community's so toxic, but Valorant absolutely needs group voice chat. Like, there's no way you cannot have group voice chat in this game. Now, I think you can get by with it without group voice chat in League of Legends. But besides that, like any like shooter game, you really do need group voice chat. You can't rely on ping system or anything like that with those kinds of games. Absolutely not. Is it possible to apply for a job? Yeah, I love that. That's good energy. Okay, let's see what the quote retweets are. There's a lot of quote retweets. And then we'll end our discussion on this subject. Need to say some things, need to do some things. Yes, exactly. I think the need to do some things is very, very important. But yeah, right, Supercakes, Anna Donlon, she did say good things at the end. She did say good things at the end. And I think this is a very, like, I think this video was not really made for me. I think this video was made because, like, a lot of people in the Valorant community are looking on this very positively, which is good. I'm glad they are. And so it's an effective video for them because they wanted to hear things like, hey, we're taking this seriously. They needed the apology and things like that. Now, I've heard like a billion apologies, so apologies don't do shit for me. But hey, if other people are happy to hear it, I'm glad. I'm genuinely glad. But I only really cared about the last 2 minutes of this video where they actually had the action items, personally. Yeah, permabanning is the only way. I agree. I completely agree. Babe, wake up. Valorant is giving hardware bans to the freaks. Yep, exactly. Alright, that pretty much covers it. Oh, here we go. Impressive commitment to addressing the hate. One of the games where people most often experience. What is this? Share of adults who reported experiencing harassment in a game. Yeah, COD is at 83%. No surprise. Dota, yeah. Dude. Dota 2 did not even have bans for slurs. And, like, you know, blocked slurs. And I'm talking about, like, not even, like, creatively, you know, bad creatively, getting around the slurs like they do in League. You know, spacing out the word. And like, no, I just mean, like, just straight up writing the word. In Dota 2, the last time I played it, which was, granted, 2.5 years ago. But, I mean, Dota is not that young of a game, guys. Dota's been out for, like, what, like, fucking 10 years or something, right? Dota 2? Or maybe even longer? That means, like, for, like, fucking, like, 6, 7, 8 years, Dota has had, like, people just freeform using the slurs constantly. Like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, Dota is terrible. PUBG is lower? Wow. That's shocking. I remember playing PUBG. GTA? I heard GTA became a lot more toxic. World of Warcraft? Yeah. Roblox? Wait, what? Dude, Roblox was like a kid's game. What in the world? How are people toxic in Roblox? I mean, I understand how, actually. That's... Clash Royale, 47%. Dude, it's shocking that they don't have... Oh, no, okay, so League is including Wild Rift. That's what confused me, but it is 76%. I'm actually shocked that League's numbers are technically lower than Valorant. I have no idea how. I have no idea how League's numbers are lower than Valorant. That is crazy. That is crazy. I do like this chart, though. I might grab that chart for later. And welcome, Minta. Now, we're just having a discussion here. So, yeah, people like this discussion. I'm very glad. I think we need numbers. I think we definitely need hard numbers. We need to know exactly how many people are getting banned. We need to shame them, and we need absolutely numbers of who is being hired at Riot and in what numbers to, you know, address the situation. I think that's clear, personally. What do you guys think of the situation, guys? Anything to add to it? Can't wait until I start working again to justify having turbo. There you go, buddy. Absolutely, my friend. What kind of job are you looking for, dat dog? It's good to see you. Minta, how you been, my friend, Minta? I hope you're having a great, great night. Welcome, welcome, welcome. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you do, give it a like, give it a sub, share it below. I love to discuss the good things going on in gaming, but also the serious things going on in gaming. And I have a lot of history in this situation, especially. But I also have a lot of like background in business, background in dealing with larger groups and so on. And I like to put forth my experiences in all these things and try to help move the conversation forward. So if you like this content, share it, and hopefully we'll see you for more next time.